Hello and welcome to day 16 of our 30-day paint body challenge for the 1978 Datsun 280Z project we're working on, where we're going to try to take this entire thing from OEM paint down to bare metal, build it back up in epoxy primer, do all the body filler work, and then put it all back in base and clear at the end of or within the 30 days. That's a tall order, especially when I'm just doing it myself. So I'm not really a paint body guy, but I like learning about this stuff. So hopefully you guys do too. Welcome to day 16. We're going to be doing the final bits of epoxy primer on the last remaining parts that are still in metal, which is the headlight buckets, the cowl, and the center valence. And then we have the two bumper fillers as well. So we're going to get all of those parts prepped, cleaned, and start primering those up in the epoxy primer that we've used for the rest of the project as well. Welcome back to the shop. Welcome to day 16. Let's get busy. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's officially day 16 done. We have got everything back in epoxy primer, and that's incredible. Just over 2 weeks ago, everything was in OEM paint. We disassembled everything, took it down to bare metal, stripped it properly, prepped it properly, waterborne wax and grease remover, solvent-based wax and grease remover, DA sanded everything with 80 grit sandpaper, and then applied at least 2 coats of epoxy primer on every single panel. That's incredible, you know, just over 2 weeks. So we're a little bit over halfway, and that's been a lot of work. It took more than 2 full weeks to get here, but day 16 is done. There's no more parts in bare metal, so that's incredible. Everything's properly protected. I did only get 1 coat on these 3 panels behind me, the cowl and both the bumper fillers, so I'm going to come out here tomorrow and mix up about 10-12 ounces of sprayable material, add that to what I have left over, which is only about 4 ounces. Tonight, I mixed up a full batch, 24 ounces, so it took 20 ounces for me to get 1 coat on these 3 parts behind me, and then the headlight buckets and the front valence. Now, it's a little bit more than I expected, but again, I wanted to spray it properly, nice wet coats. I was able to get 2 coats on the headlight buckets, and those are really weird to spray with a full-size gun. Highly recommend a detail gun for that stuff, but that's what I had, so that's what I used. The valence and everything, got 2 coats, and then I was only able to get 1 coat on this. I didn't want to mix up any more tonight, so we're going to give this 12 hours-ish to dry, and then I'm going to come and mix up 1 more coat to throw on this, and then that'll be 2 coats on everything, literally everything. So after day 16, which is tomorrow, day 17 starts. So beyond what we've done so far, and beyond what I have to do tomorrow, starting at day 17, which is 1 more coat of epoxy primer, now that we've got all of that out of the way, the real work begins, which is something I hate, I despise, not looking forward to it, but it must be done, and that is body filler. So, you know me well enough to know I try to fix the metal as best I can, and sometimes you get lucky and sometimes you don't. So we've got all the metal work done the best we could. Obviously, some of the weld patches and things like that aren't going to be ready to spray base coat on. So we do need to use a little bit of body filler, and there's some areas pretty much all over the car that need to be just skim coated and smoothed out. So that's going to be what the next 2 weeks holds, and that's kind of what I've prepped. I'm only 2 days behind where I want to be. On day 14, I wanted to be at this step. So that was everything out of bare metal. I ran into a little bit of trouble with that driver's door, and that took 2 additional days. So we're on par for where we are and where we should be, but it's not where I wanted to be, and I kind of wanted to touch on that. Most of you guys have an idea in your head about your project and the tasks you want to complete and everything. My recommendation wholeheartedly is chip away. Small things, guys, small things. Obviously, I'm coming out here to do this big 30-day massive challenge, and I think it's fun and it's enjoyable. But at the same time, there are some parts of misery, okay? So frustration sets in, you get upset, you get mad, things aren't going your way, and then normally you create more work for yourself. But if you come out and you just say, well, I just want to do just 1 thing. Don't come up with a list of 10 things. Don't come up and say, I want to get this, this, and this, and this done after work on a weeknight, and then I got to go to work tomorrow and then do all this stuff tomorrow. The day after, and we're going to get, by this week, we're going to have all this stuff done. If you do that, most of the time you're setting yourself up for disappointment. I'm guilty of that myself. That's why I'm talking to you guys about it. This is why, mentally, your project sits for years, okay? And again, I'm guilty of that too. I introduced my Datsun 280Z a couple weeks ago or months ago, and I'm guilty of that, okay? I love building cars, and sometimes you get to a point on a car where you want to start something else, and then you get distracted with that something else for a while, or something else comes up in life and everything. That's acceptable and that's okay, but you've got to get to where you're scheduling your time to spend out in your shop, out working on stuff, and that's how progress happens. And if you come up with a list that's a mile long and a mountain high, you're going to look at that and you're going to say, there's no way I can complete this in the time frame that I've set for myself, because your time frame is most of the time unrealistic. So let's just be honest. We all want to get more than we normally accomplish done in a given time frame for a given day. So having said that, come up with a list. Set the time aside that you're going to put in your shop and track it. Don't be disappointed if you can't get everything done. Don't be excited because you got more than you expected to get done, right? But just track it for a week. You know, say I'm going to spend an hour in my shop. And if my list is 10 things long and I only get 3 of them done a night, then you have something to go off of, and that's an expectation you can set for yourself going forward. Sometimes you'll get more than 3 things done. Sometimes you'll get less than 3 things done. But if you continually set a list 10 things long every single day for the time that you've allotted, you either need to shorten that list from 10 things down to 3, which is a realistic number for obviously what you've been tracking, or you need to give yourself more time. So if you're giving yourself 10 items that need to be completed, you only have 3 hours to do them, and you get 3 things done completed within that 3 hours, that tells you right then and there you can only do 1 thing per hour on average. So set yourself up for success, get these things back on the road, go build something amazing. That's what this showcasing is all about. 30 days to see how much I can get done, and hopefully motivate some of you guys to get out in your shop and do something incredibly amazing with your time and talents in the space that you have available to you. If you like this stuff, please click that thumbs up button. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing and turn on your bell notifications. That way you get notified just as soon as I get around to posting the next video. I appreciate it as always, and until next time, thanks for watching this one.